Hey, everybody, welcome back to my 5 Minute Friday. Before we get started today, I just want to let everyone know that I have transferred every one of these that I can find or download still onto our website, 13adventures.com. Under there, you can find a tab that says Brad's Brain Droppings or Brain Droppings, and you can go through there and you can find a section on my favorite authors, which is still under construction, and you can find a host of these historical 5 Minute Fridays that I've come up with, or my brain dropping thoughts, or whatever it's been called, 13 Thoughts naming convention. So you can go to our website. You have to log in to get access to it, but it is there if you want to. So today's topic. Some years ago, I heard of this acronym called CANOE, just like a canoe in the water, but CANOE, and it's for making your life better. C is for constant, A is for and, N is for never ending, O is for optimizing, and E is for experimentation. So constant and never ending optimizing experimentation. Today, I would really like to take this thought a little bit further. I have found that it is very, very easy to overlook the power of tiny changes in your life. We often strive to do our best from moment to moment. We run these little experiments, making small changes or small improvements that eventually lead to a new baseline in our behavior. You know, I've often said that I've never met anyone who chooses all throughout the day to make the absolute worst possible choices that they could make at any given time, putting themselves into a negative place. So we always talk about rags to riches, but many people go from riches to rags from poor choices that they made. But at the time, those choices did not seem poor. They just seemed the best option for them at that time. There are many books on these topics, like Atomic Habits from one of my favorite authors, James Clear, The Compound Effect, The Slight Edge, One Small Step, and so many others. But here's the thing. Sometimes we make these tiny little improvements and throw it into this big bucket of tiny improvements, and you cross your fingers that over the long run, what the experts say is in fact true, that the gains will aggregate and compound and change your life, kind of like compounding interest at the bank. James Clear comes to mind in this aspect when he says, making a choice that is 1% better or 1% worse seems insignificant at the moment. But over the span of moments that make up a lifetime of these choices, determine the difference between who you are and who you could be. Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. But sometimes you make a little change and boom, it's like that last combination that a lost combination on a safe, and you find that last number finally, and you're able to click that safe open, and these giant things happen. Another guy comes to mind is Jim Rohn is his name, R-O-H-N. He's an author and speaker and wonderful intellect. I love listening to his thoughts. But he says, quote, ideas can change your life, and sometimes all you need is just one more good idea in a series of good ideas. It's like dialing the numbers of the combination like I just talked about. After you've dialed 5 or 6 numbers, the lock may not come open, but you probably don't need 5 or 6 numbers. Maybe you just need one more number, one more idea. Maybe a seminar or a sermon can provide it. The lyrics from a song could do it. The dialogue from a movie could do it. Conversation with a friend might. He goes on to say, if you keep your eyes and ears open, you will find that one last idea you need. Once you find that idea, the lock comes open. And there's a door you can walk through. Just one more idea. No matter where you get it, maybe all you need to open that door to opportunity. The best part is you never know whether this next little experiment is going to wind up being that nice little +1 compound interest investment thing you got going on the long-term bettering of yourself campaign, or that, oh my God, that was the best thing ever combination lock clicking moment. For example, I personally am always trying to optimize my life and optimize the way I do things. And some aspects of my life from couple years ago, or even a couple of decades ago, I see changes now. But it's also fun to see those instant changes. Like 10 years ago, I stopped eating greens, and it changed my gut biome. It changed my skin problems. Migraines went away. Joint pains went away. I started tracking my heart rate variability about 3 or 4 years ago, and I realized that drinking alcohol doesn't help me sleep. I realized that I should not work out on days where I didn't sleep well. And I realized so much more about my health and about my patterns and about my attitude and everything else. So those were instant changes almost. But I'm always optimizing. I'm always thinking of better ways to do it. So my challenge for all of you today is to do a very quick inventory on those little micro gains that have added up over the years. So do you have something that you started doing, a tiny little habit that you started doing some years ago that have led to something big now? Write that down. Write it down again, because I'm sure there's been many of them. And then if you can remember any one sudden, that lock opening combination thing that just changed everything in one aspect, that sudden aha moment, that sudden light bulb moment, write that down too. Don't forget those things because they're very important. That's all for today, folks. Thank you very much for letting me be a part of your day. Stay salty.